So yes, this is called Robert Redford Made Me Do It. It's all about my obsession with the film Sneakers, and some physical security stuff thrown in too. So who am I? So I'm Matthew Steed. I work for KPMG breaking stuff. I like learning about breaking stuff. That's basically it, really. So we're going to talk about my favorite subject here, which is me. Right? So, look at that. You can still see, you can still see the hope in his eyes, can't you? It's, pretty nice. Anyway, so when I was about this sort of age, my best friend bought a VHS copy of a film called Sneakers, invited me around to his house to watch it, and I wasn't the same after that at all. It's such a great film. Quite obviously the best film ever. I don't know if any of you have seen it. If you haven't, essentially it's about a red team, built with a bunch of ex-cons. They get blackmailed by a shady government organization to steal a sort of revolutionary code-breaking device. So it's got all of the great stuff in it that you want. Fantastic film. It really, really is. In actual fact, I think it's one of the best films ever made. And we can objectively prove this. And I can't believe I did this. But if you put it up against The Godfather, right? Which, once again, people think is one of the best films ever. You can see they both have like A-list celebs in them. You know, Robert Redford, Sidney Poitier, Dan Aykroyd, you know. They both involve the mob. Sneakers has got hacking, though. It's got freaking. It's got physical security, social engineering. I didn't see one computer in The Godfather. Lazy, absolutely lazy movie making.
That was a good time of doing TV magic.
I guess so. But yeah, there was some physical security. I was going back over this. In The Godfather, I mean, anybody that could sneak into somebody's house and put a horse's head in someone's bed, props. Absolutely amazing. Really, really good. Okay? So, from here, I wanted to go to college. I wanted to, learn some IT security stuff. I wanted to get into this. You know, I didn't realize that, breaking into places or being part of a red team was actually a thing people did back then. You know, it really didn't feel like it was something you could do. However, I chose a different path, and I became a rock god for a while. Right? So, this took up a lot of my life. Right? I did this above everything else. I was still doing my IT stuff. I still, I was still around on some of the hacking forums and various other bits and pieces. But this was my life. And then I slowly moved back towards IT. I went from there to pen testing, which was fantastic. The guy down here. And then from pen testing into physical security. So, and into your meeting rooms as well, doing funny things with your internal network. That guy on the left, by the way, is sat down the front here. This was my partner in crime for ages. I did every single physical test with this guy. That came out wrong. I'll try and rephrase it a little bit better. We broke into buildings together all the time. And to this day, we had a 100% success rate as well. Never caught. Very, very cool. So, yeah, I was very, very lucky to be paired up with Tom, actually. I will sing your praises a little bit here. I was completely green to this. He had been doing it for quite some time. So he, imparted a lot of wisdom, made sure that I wasn't nervous or anything. It was a really good sort of pairing. And then we realized as well that neither of us really cared about anything, and we could just smash our way through whatever we wanted, which made for a great pairing, I think. So what I've done here is I've added a couple of what I think are good tips for beginners. Just quickly, has anybody in here done any sort of physical security engagements before, broken into places or anything? Okay. That's more than I thought. Fantastic. You won't need to hear any of this. So I'll start off anyway. So first thing I would say is do crime, right? Seriously. I will, quantify this a little bit. Be the bad guy. You're going to have, or give your client way more value if you get in there and just ransack the place. You need to find like all the weaknesses, you know? You can't just go in there and be like, oh, well, we got through one door. Let's go drink their coffee. Drink their coffee. Always. In actual fact, I should put this in. Always drink their coffee. If you get a chance, find a break room, drink their coffee, talk to their staff, see if anyone like catches you. But essentially, like, we found so many amazing things that could have saved us so much time on like the second time round of going through like drawers and things. One of the best ones, we were doing this job and it was a multi-level office. There were loads and loads of office rooms in there. One of them wasn't being used. The people were away, but the one room wasn't being used. In there, in an unlocked drawer, was a key fob for the whole building.
Wow.
So you literally just took it out there, and then we just spent the rest of the day in and out, going for lunch, you know, doing whatever you want to do. We also found in there, there's a book as well, a ledger with all of their clients' data in it as well, which was great. Money that was being paid out to this, that, and the other, and, you know, so all into the bag. So yeah, if you do one of these jobs, you have to think like a criminal. There's no boundaries, do you know what I mean? There's no point going in and being soft about it, you know? Ransack. Be a nightmare. With that, don't do crime. Okay? You have to really be careful. Everything in black and white. Make sure it's signed. Yeah, you need it all signed. You have to have it all signed. Can tell I was told to put this one in. Seriously though, just make sure that everything's above board. The only other thing I will say is once you've done one of these, you will walk away from it and you will see things completely differently. And there is like a draw to something. You'll be walking along, you're going through like a restaurant, you'll see an open door and you'll think, I could just walk through there. I could go see what's behind this. It changes the way you see things. And it's very, very hard to not do it. Okay? But just remember, you know, prison's worse. So just please don't do it. Lie your ass off. Like, just lie as much as you can. And also do it in your personal life to try and train up on it a bit, okay? I'm not talking like, you know, credit card fraud or anything like that, or like, you know, whatever. You do you. I'm not the one that's going to get arrested. No, don't do that. But yeah, seriously, just lie about everything. The best thing to do with this, though, there's some like little tricks with this, is people watching and listening to people, okay? If you're in like elevators and stuff, listen to the conversations they're having and then recount them as your own. Or like things that people have told you, friends have told you, okay? So if you're in a building and you're like, I don't know, your pretext is like you're some sort of engineer and someone starts talking to you, tell them a story your friend told you about their workplace. Oh, it's just been terrible. Everything's been so bad, you know? You use that as your story. It becomes natural because you're not necessarily lying. You're just recounting a tale you've been told. It really, really, really works. As evidenced by this, talk non-stop nonsense. Okay? So if you're walking around, I advocate for doing security, like physical security engagements in pairs because you're less likely to be stopped. Okay, no one's going to come up to like a pair of people and say, what are you doing here? Whereas if you're on your own, there's a very good chance you're going to get stopped. If you see people walking around, once again, people watching, there's a very good chance they're going to be talking to each other. If you're walking around a building as a pair and you're silent, it looks weird. Like seriously, it looks really, really weird. So whatever you do, just try and just talk like absolute nonsense about stuff, you know? Like, one of the things that we used to do was we'd walk around, we'd look at like, I don't know, routers attached to the wall and just talk rubbish about them when people walk past. Yeah, I think the red wire doesn't need to really go into the squunkle hoop there and like the, you know, those bracket, rotors there shouldn't be on this model. People don't care. People don't listen, but you're saying something. So you kind of blend in a little bit more. Find a toilet. You really have to find a toilet. Okay, this is like a serious thing. It's a really good thing for composing yourself. If you get nervous on these things, which a lot of people do, find a toilet, you can close the door, get your composure back, and go back out there. Also, adrenaline does funny things to the body, okay? have destroyed far too many toilets in my time doing this. And yeah, too much, I know, but seriously do that. Get some tools. I'm going to say something now that's going to really upset a lot of people. Lockpicking is really cool, but absolutely useless in these situations. Very, very rarely you're going to be like picking any locks. Like, it's going to be like that 1%, you know? It looks cool though, but like, you know, you're dressed as a pest control guy and you're there like, you know. Also, if you do decide to do it, make sure you have that in writing too, because I've destroyed doors before doing that. And the companies, they might not be happy about it, you know. Traveler's hooks, probably the best thing you can get, really, really cheap. They've got us into so many places. Doors that aren't flush, you can always get one of these in, just shimmy the lock, and you're in. Really, really good. This, however, is my favorite piece of tooling that we ever used. So we got to this one site. It was really, really tough to get in, but then once you got in, there was another extra sort of level of security. There was this massive door, mag-locked, and it was like hard swipe as well, and we couldn't get past it. We were going to use the standard trick of like, you can put a pen up against like the door joint, so that when it opens, the pen falls in, the door closes, but doesn't close all the way, so you can get in. I usually tell this story saying that neither of us had pens. We did, but we didn't want to get them wrecked. So we went across the road to a homeware store, bought a fork, and it just got past everything. We completely owned their building. Pro tip though, don't offer it to the client as a memento afterwards once you've gone past their security, because they hate it. They're really, really not fun about that, okay? So, and finally, get caught. You know, like once you've done all this stuff, once you've completed your objective, whether it's to get into a room, steal something, do this, that, and the other, try and get caught. Like, you know, go with like 2 sets of clothes, like, you know, like really horrible jeans and like t-shirts that are like neon pink or something. Change and go back in, see if you get caught. You'll be surprised at how often you don't. Like, it really is like one of those things where you have to like stand on a table and, hey, please, I shouldn't be here sort of situation. But it will show up loads more weaknesses, and it actually provides a lot of value for the client as well to show like, okay, look, you really should do a bit more training here. And also, you know, finally, you know, it's an amazing thing to do. If you can get into it, please do, because it will change your worldview on things. It will change how you see security in general. Yeah, and yeah, I guess that's it really. So, thank you for coming to my talk. We all good? I guess we can take a couple of questions, or do we have time, or?
We've got a couple of minutes, so if anyone has any questions.
Sure. I can't promise I'll be able to answer it, but.
Hi, very nice of you to give us such an interesting.
Yeah.
You know, for example, when obviously you, let's say after your wrecking as such, okay, that you tend to meet the clients and tell them about the security issues and vulnerabilities. I'm sure not every client would do that, but have you had resistance as such sometimes, or even either denial or even going towards like irritation, even not anger, but maybe irritation.
I had a wash-up call once with a client, and they refused to believe that we didn't get caught because we were met at the door by the person that had arranged the engagement. And I was like, but you know about this, you know who we are. So yeah, every now and again there is a bit. But most people are pretty happy with it. You know, they want to know what's wrong. So, you know, pretty receptive to everything. Yeah. Oh gosh.
Got a couple more. I'll start at the front and work my way back.
Have you ever had a client invite you back, and have you seen improvements?
Sorry. No. Just leave it as no.
Anyone else?
Just 2 quick comments, actually, not questions, or maybe a question at the end. Around the do crime thing.
Yeah.
What I really like as a mindset thing is hackers don't have scope. So
Yeah,
mindset,
100%.
think like that.
Yeah.
And just a reiteration of the importance of finding the toilet. I think that's the best advice you've given there.
Mate.
And it's not about going to the toilet, it's the composure.
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
sweating, you're freaking out, your heart's racing. Find that toilet.
Also, if
And
you
then-
need to hide for a few minutes for whatever reason, like I said, if you're on site with another person, you can send that person out to go do something. You can wait there in the toilets for them to come back and then obviously meet again. You know, it's just...
So I guess my question is have you ever been caught in the toilet?
For work? No, no, is the answer to that.
And I think we've got one more.
Okay.
So which would you think is better, boxes or RFID stealers for getting through doors currently?
People.
Yeah.
People. Always. You don't need anything. I mean, tools are cool and everything, and you know, flipper zeros on whatever, and it's all good. People, you know.
So just carrying a box and then wait for somebody to open the door for you?
Well, yeah, I mean, with us it was more clipboards. You know, but yeah, just waiting around and I say people always make mistakes. There's very rarely anything I've ever done where it's been the technology that's been the problem. It's always been the people. So yeah.
I think we've kind of run out of time there now.
Okay,
so,
no, all good,
yeah.
all good.
But thank you very much.
Thank you.